The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine. And in this session, I'm going to cover the Contact Search Center, easy way of finding information, quick way of finding information, contact information in your GoldMine CRM database. So good morning. My name is Tim Wilmot of Wizard Systems. Thanks very much for joining us. We are an independent CRM system supplier who help out mainly small and mid-sized organizations improve their sales productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of solutions like GoldMine. Now, this presentation will be about 10 minutes or so in duration. There's actually not a lot to the Contact Search Center. It's very straightforward. But my company, Wizard Systems, we offer lots of other extensive help on GoldMine if you want to explore that with us. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only, those listening live. If you've got a question, please type that into the question box on your meeting control panel. I will do my best to answer that at the end. Also, at the end, I'll give you an update on any GoldMine product news as of mid-November 2020. This call has been recorded as well. After the presentation, you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording that you can play back at your leisure and also be up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started. Just a brief mention about Wizard Systems. We are a leading supplier of GoldMine and other CRM solutions. We provide the complete service around GoldMine, the product, upgrades, implementation, training. Of course, that's all online right now, interactive training online, and ongoing support as well. We've got a friendly, responsive help desk ready to answer any of your calls about GoldMine. So let's get into GoldMine then and the Contact Search Center, the number one way of finding contact information in your GoldMine CRM database. Now, to search for contact information, as you may know, you can double click on the field labels in your GoldMine database, and that will quickly allow you to search for all information relevant to that field. So if I wanted to find all of the Wilmots in my database, I could just double click there and I will be able to find that record and select it and go to that contact record from that Contact Search Center. So double clicking on that field label is a quick way of instantly bringing up the Contact Search Center. You can also go to the Go To menu and pop down to Search at the bottom, and there's your Contact Search Center there as well. The other related search that you've got is Universal Search. We have covered that on another 101 session. We'll probably do it again. It's worth a revisit, but that's a bit like the Google search. I refer to it as like a Google search in GoldMine. That will literally find anything, anywhere, wherever it is in the system. But it can take a slightly longer time to find that information because it's got more work to do. So the Contact Search Center, most of the time, you'll be looking for contact information. So quick way of getting to the Contact Search Center there, or double clicking on a field label, and you might see it lurking on your row of tabs as well. Just a bit of information about some of the other options we've got here. Well, there is on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of your Contact Search Center, a gripper bar there. And you can grab hold of that and stretch it into your work area, or just click on that little hand icon there. And that will expose the filters and groups that you've got in your GoldMine system. You just see if I can just stretch that out a little bit. So you can see all the filters there of the already previously created filters, and below that groups as well. You can expose that out, and then you can click on the top of that group listing to change the username from you to somebody else. So this is initially just displaying the previous filters and groups that you've created. So there's the little gripper bar there. You need to be a little bit careful and be quite precise. The cursor changes from an arrow to a hand icon, and you can then just click on that gripper bar and get back to see the contact search center in a fuller display. That is exactly the same as this filter and groups button right above there. Now within the contact search center, you've got obviously the field that you were searching on. You've got various operators as well. It will default to begins with, which is the quickest search in GoldMine to search for everything, the first few letters of the word or phrase that you want to search for. But you can see in there's quite an extensive range of different operators to satisfy any kind of search condition. In the value box, the thing that you're looking for, that will default to the entry that you had on your current the current contact record that you're on, but you can obviously remove that. Another little trick you can put in here, you can use some SQL syntax, if I can call it that, some syntax characters. For example, you can put in there a percentage mark, and that will find every record in your GoldMine system. That will instantly find every single record. You could also type in a letter, then that percentage symbol, then something else, and that will find anything that has a W, then some other characters, and then a T at the end of it. All right, so a few little tricks there for finding. You may not use those very often, but a few little tricks there for finding specific information or the whole GoldMine database for you. Now, within the contact search center, you've got these various columns displayed here in this summary view. They're defined by clicking on this columns button here, where you can choose the different columns that you want to display. This can be specific to you. It won't affect other users, but you have there on the left-hand side, in alphabetical order, all of the contact fields that you can search on, and you just double click on those to move them over to the displayed columns, and then you can decide what sequence they're going to be across your contact search center. You can also drag and drop these column headings to a different location if you want to. And also within that column heading, you can click or double click on that column heading, and that will sort that column in ascending or descending order as displayed, as defined by that little chevron there, that little triangle, to sort that column in ascending or descending. So there's the contact search center column options. I'll just go through some of the other options you've got up here. We can also save selected contacts as a filter or a group. We can copy the information displayed to your clipboard, a quick way of exporting those displayed names and the columns that you've defined to the clipboard or Word, a new Word document or a new Excel document for whatever reason. You can print that list, you can refresh that list. We could jump to the scheduling feature of GoldMine. That's where, well, by default, you're going to be scheduling an activity to the current contact record. So if I clicked on this one, I click on schedule, it's going to default to that, but you can schedule, as you may know, and again, we cover this in previous 101 sessions, you can do a group scheduling function. So I could select a range of contacts there, and in one process, schedule a phone call or some other task across all of those contact records. A very quick way of saving time. The merge button allows you to do an email merge to those contacts or a mail merge to Microsoft Word. So that's where you have previously defined an email template in GoldMine or a Word template in Word using the GoldMine link to Word, and you can then generate or send out an email, a single email or a single letter to all of those contacts. We've got here adding these contacts to an existing group, an email distribution list. Again, we've covered that on previous 101 sessions, or indeed creating a new contact group or a new email distribution list. A few shortcuts there. And then finally on the options button, that will take you straight to your preferences, your options, but instantly on the lookup tab where you can further define other little finer details of your contact search. So default lookup, for example, what do you want to have happen to the search center when you've selected a record? Do you want to close it? Do you want to move it to the background? So there's a few options there as well. So there's the contact search center. Easy way, quick way of finding information in your GoldMine database by double clicking on a field label or going to that go-to menu there, but a really quick and easy way of finding any information in your GoldMine database based on a contact record search. You're searching for information based on a contact or a company, a contact record in GoldMine. Hopefully that's of interest to you. We now, towards the end of our session, just open out to any questions you've got around this feature. So let's just take a look at any questions we've got. Right, Eileen. I noticed that search is slow sometimes. Why would that be? That's a very good question, Eileen. Our first response to something like that would be, has it always been slow? Is it just you as a user? Do your colleagues notice it's slow? It can be, okay, so it can be that in this contact search center, as you're scrolling, as you're searching through records, it can be synchronized. There's an option to synchronize your display with the contact search record. If your contact record, if the contact record is currently displaying the history tab, that's a list of all of the things that you've done with that contact record, then in certain situations, it could be quite slow because every time you're jumping from one record to another, GoldMine is having to suddenly retrieve all of the things that you've ever done with that client, all the previous emails, phone calls. And if you've been using GoldMine for a long time, say 10, 15 years, well, over that time, you could have amassed a lot of history. You can clean out history. We do have a way of archiving that off for you. But that could be a possible situation where you're scrolling around the system, you've got the history tab selected, and GoldMine's just got a lot of work to do. We'll come back to us, Eileen, if that is a possible resolution there. Gilly, not really a contact search center question, but when you apply a group or filter as the way to jump to a certain record number rather than having to click the forward, backward arrow. As regards record number, not knowing exactly what you mean there, if you want to jump to a certain record, within a filter, you can apply a further range. So you can say, I want to filter out all records in Manchester, but I only want to see companies beginning with the letter O, for example. So you could apply a further criteria using the filter feature to jump to that particular record. But without a bit more information, Julie, possibly not in your example there. Amy, how do you search for a detail record? Okay, so the contact search center is only searching for contact information. The detail record, the detail tab, there is a lookup option on that. If you go to detail record, just right click and go to lookup. That will, yeah, thanks, Julie. That will find the information for you on that detail record. David, is there a way of searching customers where there has been no activity for, say, for 12 months? Yes, that is a standard field in, okay, so GoldMine, there could be a few ways of defining no activity. The standard way that GoldMine uses built into it is it will check for a record as regards the last appointment or the last phone call or the last time you sent them an email from GoldMine. That will automatically update a built-in field in GoldMine called last contact. So David, a simple way of doing that is doing a search on last contact and greater than your particular date. You can build that into a filter. You could create a group on that as well. But that would be one way. If you're looking for a particular activity type that hasn't happened in the last 12 months, then that too could be possible through the creation of a group or an SQL query that GoldMine can do, a very, very clever, slightly more sophisticated way of finding that information. So yes, typically the last contact field in GoldMine, that's going to be your standard. Give that a try, David, see how you get on. Let me know if that works for you. Right, don't think that, yep, thanks very much, David. Don't think there's any more questions coming through. Well, let me just give you an update on GoldMine News then. So in England, we are still, well, halfway through lockdown. We're doing online training right now. To be honest with you, we've been doing online training for about almost 15 years. So this is something that we're quite used to at Wizard Systems. But wherever you are, whatever topic you want to know more about in GoldMine, you could use this time to get to know more about the application that's sat in front of you. So please contact us if you want any information on GoldMine training. We can make it quite interactive and record the sessions for you as well. Latest release of GoldMine is 2020.1, which implements the OAuth email security. Please contact us for details on that. There are some special offers that GoldMine have introduced in their Q4, or this last quarter of this year. So as of November 2020, there are some special offers around maintenance. Maintenance is the only way of getting GoldMine upgrades. Or if you want to purchase more GoldMine licenses, there's some significant discounts on those. If you want to add on extra users, or you're thinking of purchasing a new GoldMine system, I think most people that are watching this live have GoldMine already, but if you want extra licenses, then please contact us at Wizard Systems for more information on special offers for Q4 2020. Right, well, that's me done then. If you've got any suggestions for future GoldMine topics, we'd love to hear from you. Please email me. My name is Tim Wilmot. Email me tim@wizard-systems.com. There's all of our other contact details there as well. Thanks very much for those of you listening live. Have a nice day, and we'll speak to you same time next week for another GoldMine topic. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.